All right, what's up, guys? Here at Bob's Fitness for leg day number 2. So glute and ham emphasis with some quads thrown in for good measure. Let me be very clear, these haven't been my leg workouts as of late. Usually I've had just usually it's supposed to go hamstring, glute emphasis with some quads in there, but usually it's just been leg day number 1, leg day number 2, and I just end up doing a lot of shit and mainly hitting quads again. But I'm going to do my best to stick to the plan. I'm going to really work hard on the glutes and hams. Reverse hypers is normal, glutator, lying hamstring curls. Then we're going to get in some type of squatting movement and leg extensions. Or we may do another EMOM on the leg press. I don't know. I haven't showed you guys that yet. So I probably will today, just to really get some blood in the thighs. But again, this is a glute and hamstring emphasis. Really, if you're going to stand on stage, that's something you got to have. You got to have depth in the hamstrings. You got to have a good glute ham tie-in. Also, it just sets off your entire posterior chain too, from your traps all the way down to your calves. It should be you should really have a great package put together. And I can name a few people that already have that. Jonathan Withers, he won the Nationals last year. He's got a really great glute ham tie-in, great posterior chain. John Jewett. There's numerous people that I can name. Ronnie Coleman doesn't really even need to be mentioned. But you definitely got to have a glute ham tie-in, great glute ham development if you want to step on today's stage, or even if you just want to look good in a pair of jeans. The days of having a big upper body and super skinny legs, those days are over. They need to be over, but we're going to work really hard today, and we're just going to get it done. All right, let's go.
Okay, starting things out on the glutator. Just to get the glutes warmed up, getting ready to go. Normally you've seen me kick off with reverse hyperextensions. That isn't the case this week. Wanted to just do something a little bit different. In fact, I really didn't do any hyperextensions today, or that day rather, and just really focused on bigger exercises, right? So something that will give me a good contraction, good stretch. Not saying that the reverse hyper doesn't do that, but it just really didn't call for that today. Didn't really do anything where my spine needed traction, so just went ahead and went for broke on the glutator. A couple of key things that you want to keep in mind. This machine does put you into back extension a little bit. So what I try to do, I most of the times fail at it, but what I try to do is I try to lean forward a little bit and brace my abs, but no, that will reduce the amount of weight that you use initially. You can get stronger over time, but you want to be careful into not making something an ab exercise, right? So if this is meant to target the glutes, put yourself in the position, whichever position is best for you to target the glutes. In this case, it's actually the position that I'm in right now, but my lower back goes into extension. So just something to keep in mind if you have this machine at your gym or you have this machine at home. You definitely want to use it, but please keep in mind that your back will go into extension. That's not necessarily a good thing. You can't really avoid it, but you don't want to spend an excessive amount of time in there. Moving on, did the hammer, see the hamstring curl. I wanted to use the flex machine lying leg curl, but that was occupied and I didn't feel like really disturbing people with my filming. But in any event, went ahead and just warmed up, got a good warm up of about 15-20 reps here, and then we move on to about 2 plates and a quarter, and we hit a couple of failure sets, failing around about 6 to 9 reps. Hamstrings are a body part that responds very, very good to heavy training. You can do multiple sets of heavy training. You can do multiple sets of 6 on the leg curl and develop actually a really good pair of hamstrings. They don't require a whole lot of deep, high reps or even moderate reps like quadriceps do. Keep in mind that the quads are 4 muscles, right? And the hamstrings is just really one muscle, but they look like cords going down when they're fully developed. So you want to keep in mind that you don't have to slam them as much as you do quadriceps. They're called the leg biceps. And if you know anything about the biceps, there's two heads of the biceps, right? The inner and the outer. So you can really train hamstrings kind of with the same mentality. You can train them low rep. You can even train them high rep on certain movements if you want to. But really where the real good development comes from, that I've seen, that I've experienced, comes from low rep sets. If you're going to do the next exercise that you'll see, you don't want to do it for high reps or anything like that, because you'll put your lower back in a vulnerable position. So definitely make leg curls, both kinds, seated and lying, the hallmarks of your hamstring training, at least to kick it off, right? You're not going to get an exercise anywhere that's going to squeeze the hamstrings quite like this. And as you can see here, I'm doing a cluster set. That's 6 sets of 4. Some people call it a muscle round. Last time I called it a muscle round, Scott Stevenson borderline cussed me out, so I just said whatever. So I just call it a cluster set. But in any event, that's another good way to train the hamstrings. Also, keep in mind that if you train the hamstrings for strength, the development will follow because you're training it in the rep range that it's intended to be worked in. So don't be afraid to train hamstrings heavy, guys. Definitely don't be afraid to do it. So moving on, again, this is the one that is a medium rep range, but also at the same time, you don't want to do high reps with it. This is very much a strength-based movement, right? So this is the stiff leg deadlift, Romanian deadlift, whatever you want to call it. As you can see, my knees are slightly bent because I want the weight to touch on the floor and I want the negative to be controlled. So that's what I'm doing right here. I'm touching each rep on the floor. I'm using my hamstrings and my glutes to pull myself up. I'm not trying to really use my low back. I'm definitely engaging the bottom half of my posterior chain. So why is this so good? Well, number one, it'll develop your posterior chain like nobody's business. Number two, it's really a good lat exercise, right? Because you have to stabilize the bar close to your body to be able to hit your hamstrings and glutes. So you have to lock your lats in while you're raising this weight, right? And then the negative, that's all hamstrings, that's all glutes. So you definitely want to make sure you feel a good stretch. Jordan Peters has turned me on to this. Kuba Cien has turned me on to this style. The UK scene is really developing some really good bodybuilders and making people think about training a lot. So definitely went ahead and took a page out their book, as well as Ben Pollack, otherwise known as PhD Deadlift on Instagram. He does this exercise a lot, but I think he does it with a tractor tire. I'm not too sure. We ain't to that level yet, but we are building up. We're going to build up very fast. And if we can get to 315 for a set of 8 to 10, that'll be a success. Right now, I'm just letting my training cycle develop organically. I do keep a logbook, but it's nothing that, I super adhere to. So I'm just letting everything kind of develop organically and taking deloads as needed. Moving on. Not going to spend a whole lot of time here, guys. The prime leg extension. Really, I just wanted my quads warm for the next exercise, which is every minute on the minute set on the hip press by Rogers Athletic. So really just here, just 15, 20, 25 reps, something like that. Something to get the blood in the muscle, and then we just keep it pushing. Again, nothing crazy, nothing to really see here. This one right here is the every minute on the minute leg press. And I have to admit, I didn't know how this would go. When I started it, 3 plates felt like a ton, but as I went on, the mental toughness just kind of kicks in. You just kind of ramp up and you just go harder and harder and harder for this exercise. So the reason behind the EMOM is just I wanted something to be metabolically expensive to the muscle, right? I just really wanted to push it to a limit of the work to rest ratio being extremely high. So 15 to 20 seconds in between each set. A lot of people say you probably didn't go heavy enough if you're resting that long, if you're resting that short. that's fine. It was just about pushing blood in the muscle and really making sure that the muscle works to absolute or close to absolute failure, right? Again, I thought 3 plates would kill me and I'd be done by 8, but once I got to 5, I was like, okay, I can do this. That just makes me want to touch on safe failure again. You can go to failure, but safely, especially if you don't have a training partner. I don't have a training partner, and I'm not a big fan of going to failure on certain exercises. While this is damn near a self-spotting machine, I just don't want to be pinned up under it, right? So you definitely have to be careful with certain movements. You definitely have to be careful with certain positions that you put yourself in when you get under these machines, when you get under the bar or anything like that. So, but the EMOM was pretty safe. Just 10 reps every minute on the minute. I'll start experimenting with lower rep ranges and start going for like sets of 8, sets of 6, sets of 4, and try to reduce the rest time a little bit. But then that wouldn't be every minute on the minute. So I want to make sure that I'm getting enough reps in comparatively with the time that I have to complete the EMOM. So just another leg building tool that I'm using. And I'm just messing around with a little bit right now. So we'll see if it becomes a mainstay in my training, but we'll see how my leg development goes. But that's all I have, guys. November 6th, so it's Stranger Things day to day. Great series. If you feel like doing some Stranger Things, try this workout out. Let me know if you liked it. Let me know if you want to see more content like this. I definitely want to bring stuff that will help you guys to the masses. My website is going to be up and running. Not too long from now, and you'll be able to have some programs there for purchase that'll feature techniques like these or something close to it, whether it be a time set or something along that nature. And that's going to be Tenacitystrength.com, and you can get some free PDFs there as well. So until then, guys, enjoy your Saturday. You'll have a good one.